Nicole Kidman has filed for divorce from Keith Urban after 19 years of marriage.
Keith and Nicole's shocking $325 million split that rocked the movie and music worlds. Now we're tracing the...
What if one quiet legal document could expose the truth behind one of Hollywood's most perfect marriages? For nearly 2 decades, the world believed that Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban were the ultimate love story, the Oscar-winning actress and the country music superstar who survived fame, addiction battles, and relentless tabloid rumors. Red carpets, anniversary tributes, emotional award show speeches, it all looked like a fairy tale.
Now TMZ reports Nicole Kidman just filed for divorce, even though they were told she wanted to save her marriage.
But what if that fairy tale was just a performance? Because according to explosive new court filings and behind-the-scenes whispers coming out of Nashville, the truth may be far darker and far more complicated than anyone expected. Why would Nicole suddenly walk away after 19 years of marriage? Why did the custody numbers in the divorce documents shock even veteran Hollywood insiders?
We have such a strong, deep bond and love.
That was then. This is now.
I don't think anyone's the perfect anything. I'm not a...
And why are some sources claiming that this marriage didn't collapse overnight, but slowly crumbled while the cameras kept rolling? Even more chilling, Nicole didn't need a tell-all interview. She didn't need a dramatic press conference. Because sometimes the loudest confession is hidden in the paperwork. And if those numbers are telling the truth, then this isn't just a celebrity breakup story. It's the unraveling of a marriage that may have been over long before anyone realized. The moment the divorce filing quietly appeared in a Nashville court database, something strange happened. At first, almost nobody noticed. No screaming headlines. No dramatic press conference. Just a simple legal filing connected to 2 of the most recognizable names in entertainment, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban. But Hollywood insiders know something the public often forgets. When celebrities stay silent, the paperwork starts telling stories. And sometimes those stories are far more revealing than any emotional interview ever could be. For nearly 20 years, Nicole and Keith were treated like the rare celebrity couple that actually made it work. Think about it. Hollywood marriages usually implode faster than a viral TikTok trend. One scandal, one cheating rumor, one leaked text message, and the fairy tale is over. But not them. They survived everything. When they married in 2006, many people quietly predicted the relationship wouldn't last. After all, Nicole had already gone through one of the most public divorces in Hollywood history with Tom Cruise, a split that tabloids dissected for years. Meanwhile, Keith Urban was fighting his own personal battles, including a very public struggle with addiction that nearly destroyed his career before it truly exploded. On paper, it looked like a risky match. A global movie star with an Oscar on her shelf. A country music rebel trying to rebuild his life. And yet somehow, it worked. Or at least that's what the world believed. Award shows became their stage. At the Academy of Country Music Awards, cameras constantly captured them whispering to each other, laughing like newlyweds even after more than a decade together. When Nicole attended premieres or award ceremonies like the Academy Awards, Keith was often right there beside her, smiling like the proud husband who had somehow won the Hollywood lottery. Fans loved it. Media outlets loved it. They weren't just a celebrity couple. They were presented as proof that love could survive fame, distance, and chaos. But here's the uncomfortable truth about celebrity marriages. The public usually sees the final chapter long before they ever realize the story started falling apart. Behind the carefully staged red carpets and anniversary Instagram posts, whispers had already started circulating within industry circles. Quiet whispers. The kind that never quite make it into mainstream headlines but somehow keep resurfacing in conversations between producers, tour managers, and studio insiders. The whispers all pointed to the same problem: distance. Keith Urban's career had reached a massive peak over the past few years. His tours were bigger, his crowds louder, his schedule more demanding than ever. Months on the road, city after city, thousands of miles away from Nashville. Meanwhile, Nicole's life looked completely different. Despite being one of the most powerful actresses in Hollywood, she had quietly structured her career around family life in Tennessee. Film projects came and went, but Nashville remained home base. The place where their daughters went to school. The place where daily life actually happened. And that's where the tension reportedly started building. Because while fans saw glamorous photos from world tours and movie premieres, the day-to-day reality looked very different behind closed doors. Friends of the couple would later hint that Nicole often joked about being a single parent with a very famous husband. At first it sounded like harmless humor. But over time, those jokes stopped sounding like jokes. Then came the first moment that really made insiders pause. In early 2025, during a backstage livestream after one of Keith's sold-out concerts, a short clip briefly circulated online before mysteriously disappearing. In the background of the video, Keith's phone lit up with a notification that eagle-eyed fans quickly screenshot. The name on the screen wasn't Nicole. And the message, according to fans who claim they saw it before the clip vanished, read, "Call me when you're done. We need to talk about Nashville." Within hours, the clip was gone. Accounts posting about it suddenly deleted their tweets. Music blogs that mentioned it quietly removed the posts. Officially, nothing happened. Unofficially, speculation exploded. Was it a misunderstanding? A work message? Or something else entirely? Around the same time, another strange moment began circulating online. During a red carpet interview earlier that year, Nicole was asked a seemingly harmless question about balancing work and marriage. Her answer was polite, calm, even smiling. But one sentence suddenly sounded very different in hindsight. "I think every marriage has its limits," she said. "Eventually you realize you can't keep pretending everything is perfect." At the time, the comment passed without much attention. Just another thoughtful quote from a veteran actress. Now, looking back at those words after the divorce filing, they almost sound like a warning. At first, the whispers stayed quiet. Industry rumors always do. They float around private group chats, backstage conversations, and closed-door meetings long before the public ever hears a word. But this time, something different happened. The moment the divorce filing involving Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban surfaced online, internet detectives did what they always do. They started digging. And within hours, the story exploded. Entertainment blogs began posting screenshots of the court paperwork, highlighting one detail that immediately caught everyone's attention: the custody numbers. Not a vague agreement. Not a simple shared custody. Actual numbers. 306 days with Nicole. 59 days with Keith. That's when the tone of the conversation completely changed. Because suddenly, this wasn't just another celebrity breakup. Those numbers looked less like co-parenting and more like something else entirely. Something uncomfortable. Something people weren't expecting to see attached to a couple that had spent years presenting themselves as the definition of stability. Within minutes of the documents spreading online, the hashtag #NicoleKidmanDivorce started trending across X. And the reactions were immediate and brutal. One viral post read, 306 days with mom, 59 with dad? That's not a custody schedule. That's a visiting pass. Another user wrote, so the perfect marriage was basically a long-distance relationship this whole time. But then came the twist nobody saw coming. Late that night, a popular celebrity gossip account claiming connections inside Nashville's music industry posted what it described as a leaked message from someone on Keith's tour staff. The account didn't provide proof, but the alleged message spread like wildfire anyway. According to the post, the insider wrote, everyone on the tour knew the marriage was hanging by a thread. Keith basically lived on the road. By the end, Nashville just felt like a stop between shows. The post was viewed more than 3 million times in less than 12 hours. Suddenly fans started revisiting old interviews, old red carpet clips, even old Instagram posts from both stars. And once people start looking for cracks in a celebrity relationship, they usually find them everywhere. One clip that resurfaced particularly fast came from a past interview where Keith was asked how he balanced touring with family life. His answer sounded normal at the time. Nicole runs the home base, he said with a laugh. She's the general. I just try not to mess it up. Back then, fans thought the comment was charming. Now, some people started interpreting it very differently. Within hours, TikTok creators began posting breakdown videos analyzing the divorce filing line by line. One video titled "The Numbers That Ended a Hollywood Marriage" gained over 2 million views overnight on TikTok. The creator pointed at the custody numbers and asked viewers a question that quickly went viral. If everything was so perfect, why does this look like a parent who barely lives at home? The debate exploded. Supporters of Keith pushed back immediately, arguing that his touring schedule was the obvious explanation. After all, touring musicians spend huge portions of the year traveling. That's part of the job. But critics weren't convinced. Some argued that plenty of musicians managed to balance touring with family life. Others pointed out that Nicole had repeatedly adjusted her own career schedule to remain based in Nashville with their daughters. And then a second wave of controversy hit. A journalist covering the story for a popular entertainment podcast claimed that sources close to the situation had hinted the divorce negotiations actually began months earlier than anyone realized. Not weeks. Months. According to that report, The custody agreement had already been discussed long before the public anniversary posts the couple shared online earlier in the summer. If that's true, it raises an uncomfortable question. Were they celebrating an anniversary they already knew would be their last? That possibility sent the internet into a frenzy. One tweet with nearly 500,000 likes simply said, "So they were posting happy anniversary while negotiating a divorce behind the scenes." Even other celebrities began reacting. A well-known reality TV personality posted a cryptic message that fans immediately connected to the situation. "Hollywood marriages are the best acting performances you'll ever see." The comment was deleted less than an hour later, but screenshots spread everywhere. Meanwhile, major entertainment outlets like TMZ and Page 6 began publishing new reports citing unnamed insiders who claimed the couple's inner circle had known about the tension for a long time. One source reportedly said something that instantly became headline material. "The surprise isn't that they divorced. The surprise is that they stayed together as long as they did." By the next morning, the debate had completely divided the internet. Team Nicole argued she had spent years holding the family together while Keith focused on touring. Team Keith insisted the narrative was unfair and ignored how demanding the entertainment industry can be. Comment sections turned into full-blown battlegrounds. One fan wrote, "Nicole raised those kids while he chased stadium tours." Another fired back, "He's a musician. Touring is literally his job. What did people expect?" The arguments kept escalating. But just when it seemed like the story had reached its peak, another detail from the divorce documents quietly surfaced. And this one raised an entirely new set of questions. Because buried deep in the filing was a financial clause that didn't look like a normal celebrity divorce arrangement at all. Not monthly support payments. Not ongoing financial obligations. Instead, according to the paperwork, everything had already been paid up front. A single lump sum agreement. Clean. Fast. Almost pre-planned. And the moment people noticed that detail, a new theory started spreading online. What if this divorce wasn't a sudden collapse? What if it had been quietly arranged long before the public ever realized the marriage was in trouble? And if that's true, then the biggest question of all still hasn't been answered. And just when it seemed like the internet had already uncovered every possible detail about the divorce between Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, another piece of information quietly surfaced, and suddenly the entire story started looking very different. Because the more people examined the timeline, the less sense it seemed to make. Think about it for a second. Publicly, the world saw a couple celebrating nearly 2 decades of marriage. Red carpet appearances, anniversary posts, smiling interviews. On the surface, everything looked stable. Maybe not perfect, but certainly not on the verge of collapse. And yet, hidden inside the legal filings was a detail that raised a massive question. The parenting agreement, the one outlining the 306-59 custody split, wasn't signed at the same time the divorce became public. It had already been signed weeks earlier. Which means while fans were still liking anniversary photos and sharing clips of the couple laughing together at events, the legal structure for ending the marriage had already been finalized behind closed doors. That realization alone triggered a new wave of speculation online. Because suddenly, people started asking a chilling question. If the divorce was already being arranged privately, then what exactly were those public appearances really about? Were they simply maintaining a public image until the paperwork was ready? Were they trying to protect their daughters from a media frenzy before everything became official? Or was there something else happening entirely? Around the same time, another rumor began circulating inside entertainment circles. Nothing confirmed. Nothing officially reported. But enough whispers that people started paying attention. According to one entertainment insider who spoke anonymously to a podcast covering the story, the real breaking point may not have been one dramatic moment at all. Instead, it may have been something much quieter and much harder to fix. Exhaustion. The source described a relationship where 2 incredibly successful people slowly began living completely different lives. Keith's world revolved around sold-out arenas, tour buses, and constant travel. His concerts were drawing tens of thousands of fans at a time, and his schedule often kept him on the road for months. Meanwhile, Nicole's world looked very different. Yes, she remained one of Hollywood's biggest actresses. But according to people close to the family, she had increasingly structured her work around staying close to home in Nashville. School events, family dinners, the normal routines that make life feel stable. 2 schedules, 2 priorities, 2 completely different realities. And eventually, according to those insiders, the distance between those 2 lives simply became impossible to ignore. But here's where the story takes its most surprising turn. Because despite all the speculation, neither Nicole nor Keith has actually spoken publicly about the divorce. No emotional interview. No dramatic statement. No carefully crafted explanation blaming schedules, careers, or growing apart. Just silence. And in the world of celebrity scandals, silence can be louder than any confession. Especially when fans begin revisiting old interviews with fresh eyes. One particular quote from Nicole started resurfacing everywhere online. During a past conversation about relationships, she had said something that seemed harmless at the time, but now feels almost eerie in hindsight. You can't live your whole life pretending everything is perfect. At the time, it sounded like a thoughtful observation about life and marriage. Now, after the divorce filing, many people believe it might have been something else entirely. A hint, a quiet admission that behind the cameras and headlines, things weren't as perfect as the world believed. And yet, even with all these clues, one question still hangs over the entire story. What finally pushed Nicole to file the paperwork? Was it simply years of distance and incompatible schedules? Or is there still another piece of this story that hasn't surfaced yet? Because in Hollywood, the first version of a celebrity breakup is rarely the complete one. New details appear. More insiders start talking. Old moments suddenly take on entirely new meanings. And if the internet's obsession with this story is any indication, this may only be the beginning. Sources close to the situation say there could still be more revelations once the legal process moves forward in Nashville. More documents, more timelines, possibly even statements from people who were once part of the couple's inner circle. Which means the story everyone thinks they understand right now might look completely different a few months from today. Because if there's one thing Hollywood history has taught us, it's this: the truth behind a celebrity marriage almost never appears all at once. It unfolds slowly, one detail at a time. So after everything we just uncovered, one question still refuses to go away. Was the divorce between Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban really just about busy schedules and distance, or are those shocking numbers hiding something much bigger? Because when you look at the timeline, the custody split, and the silence from both sides, the whole situation starts to feel less like a normal celebrity breakup, and more like a story that hasn't fully been told yet. Think about it. For nearly 19 years, the world believed this was one of the strongest marriages in Hollywood. They survived fame, scandals, addiction battles, and constant media pressure. Millions of fans looked at them and thought, if any celebrity couple can make it work, it's these two. And yet suddenly, everything collapsed. No dramatic interviews. No emotional explanations. Just quiet legal documents, and numbers that sparked an internet firestorm. Some fans believe Nicole simply reached her breaking point. Others think Keith's demanding career made a normal family life impossible. And then there are people online who believe there's still a major twist in this story that the public hasn't seen yet. So now we want to hear your thoughts. Do you think this divorce was really about touring and distance? Or do you believe there's a deeper reason that hasn't been revealed yet? Drop your opinion in the comments because this debate is exploding everywhere right now. And if you enjoy deep dives into celebrity drama, hidden scandals, and the stories Hollywood doesn't want you to question, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because the moment new details come out about this situation, you'll hear about it here first. Because if history has taught us anything, the biggest celebrity secrets rarely stay hidden forever.